Thank you, Oliver, for that contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, our final special guest today before our closing speaker is Soya Phan, who is a campaigner for Burmese human rights, democracy and freedom. Please give a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the green background takes me back to my home in the jungle in Burma. Anyway, thank you so much to Shadow Foreign Secretary William Hague for a kind invitation, and then to the Conservative Party for putting human rights issues at the heart of your agenda. When I was just 14 years old, the soldiers came to my village. They opened fire, and then there was no warning. The mortar bombs exploded. We fled for our lives, but many people were killed. My family ran, carried what we could on our backs. We left everything and our home behind. I still remember the smell of the black smoke as our village was destroyed. At the same time, and as we hid in the jungle, homeless and afraid, a British trade delegation died in Rangoon, and then making business deals with the military dictatorship that had just slaughtered my people. Ladies and gentlemen, my country, Burma, is ruled by one of the world's most brutal military dictatorships. And it is 11 years since the attack on my village. But nothing has changed. Earlier this year, the regime launched a new military offensive against ethnic people of Karen and Karenni in eastern part of Burma, shooting children, mutilating and beheading people, forcing 20,000 people from their homes. And still, British government has done nothing to stop companies investing in Burma. How many more generations will have to suffer while the world looks the other way? Ladies and gentlemen, I know sanctions are controversial. In many countries, trade and investment can have positive impacts, bringing jobs, prosperities, and opening up country to new ideas. But in Burma, the opposite happened. The regime used trade and investment to double the size of the army, and then reduced spending on health and education. That is why Burmese people are asking for targeted economic sanctions to cut economic lifeline, keeping this regime afloat. As a democracy activist from Burma, I am confused by the response of the international community. How can any government's foreign policy not make human rights a priority? What is more important than the basic rights for all of us to live in peace without fear? How can governments stand by while in Burma, innocent children are shot, girls as young as 5 years old are raped by the soldiers, and while 1,000 political prisoners are tortured and facing cruelty every day, and while Aung San Suu Kyi remains under house arrest and her life in danger? Why has it taken 16 years for the United Nations Security Council to even discuss Burma? There is not even a UN arms embargo against my country. Ladies and gentlemen, promoting human rights and democracy is not imperialist. It is not a cultural issue. It is everyone's business. I believe it should be a priority for every country. The opportunity to speak to you today has given me hope. I hope that your party will help my people in their struggle for human rights, democracy, and freedom in Burma. I hope that this signifies a bigger change and that in future, governments will put human rights at the core of their foreign policy. There are millions and millions of people like me around the world, not just from Burma, who have been forced from their homes by the brutal regimes. We just want to go home. I just want to go home, but I can't without your help. Please help us go home. Thank you.
Soya, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for that powerful and moving message. Ladies and gentlemen, always a highlight of our conference. You've guessed. A man of considerable substance. A man who commands the greatest respect. I know you will give a rousing welcome to the Shadow Foreign Secretary, William Hague.